Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Aries is for you. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So my dear Aries, I know, right? I did say that there were a lot of changes coming, and I promise there are, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes at this moment in time, and when the time is right, I will get round to sharing, and I will let you guys in on all of the big changes that have been taking place for me personally. All right, so before we start, your key to the week is the World card, right? So in a lot of ways, the World card is the ultimate level up, right? This card very often shows up for us when we have, when we are going through an upgrade in some regard. Very often as well, the World card will come with a lot of refinement. Like this is where we reach that next level. So this very often accompanies, usually shows up for things like pay rises, promotions, when you graduate from university or college, depending on where you are in the world. So this week, there could be a level up, right? But remember, the World card also represents community. So in a lot of ways, this week, your community or your people are going to be highlighted, and how you show up in those arenas is also going to be important. So for your actions and options this week, you've got the Judgment card. This is huge, right? Because this combination literally speaks to the end of an era. This is a breaking away from your community. So this could be for some of you, maybe you're moving away from where it is that you live, or whoever your people are. Maybe you are, it could also be, and it doesn't have to be awful, but it is possible that this could be the end of friendships, the end of relationships that have been in your world for a long time. This could be maybe you're breaking away from the family in some regard, right? There's a load of reasons that this could be the case, but it does look like there's something coming to a close on a community/familial level. Now, when it comes to the Judgment card, especially as an actions and options card, this means two things, right? One, you can feel the universe kind of calling you to action, right? There's no ignoring it. You're at, really and truthfully, my dear Aries, you are at a crossroads of sorts, right? And another way that this potentially shows up for you, because it's the Judgment card, this could literally see you like taking what I would consider a trip down memory lane. So going back to a place that has been a part of your world previously, right? So lots of big stuff on the horizon. This is not a week to be slept on. I will say that much to you. These are big cards, just straight out of the gate. They're the first two out. And this combination is a big one. It's usually where there's going to be a big shift or a big change in our lives in some way, shape or form. So don't sleep on this week, all right? For your communications and conversations, you've got the Nine of Cups. That's absolutely beautiful. This is good news. And it's also conversations that show up for you that have a healing nature to them, especially for those of you that if you've had a breakup, if you've had an argument, if you've had a breaking of ties of some sort that you thought, was a real deal breaker, this could potentially be healing words. I got to be honest with you, with some people, it might feel like too much, too little, too late. So just keep that as a consideration. The other thing with the Nine of Cups as a communications card, a lot of the conversations that you have this week will have a cathartic or a healing element to them, right? For some of you, this is also potentially the healing of a rift that has like a spiritual or an ancestral sort of root, just to get really deep. Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, if you're waiting on exam results, you don't need to worry, right? You absolutely pass with flying colours. You're going to be over the moon with the grades that you get. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is great news when it comes to the career, because whatever it is that you've been working on or towards, you actually see it come to fruition this week, right? You're going to have not only good news, but it's like you feel content with what you're offered, whether this is a promotion, whether it's a pay rise, whether it's some kind of recognition where your boss says to you, no, I can't give you a promotion right now, but we're going to give you a discretionary bonus. And then on top of that, we're also going to, put you into a training program where you can meet, the next level, or whatever the case might be. I love this for you. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, it's like you can see your next level right here in front of you. And it looks completely different to where you've come from. And it's just not a bad thing. It's not even scary. It's just like, wow, okay. And it might be that you had all these plans for what your next level looked like for yourself. And now that you're at the precipice of that, it's like, well, holy shit, it doesn't look anything, the ground, the terrain, the community, the connections, the business connections that I have, it doesn't look anything like what I was expecting, right? So suddenly you find yourself thrust into a very different world. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, this is profound healing. And I will say this would be an incredible week to go to some kind of therapy, some kind of counseling, some kind of, do you know what I mean? Like it just could be really, really good. This week you could have conversations that, as I say, they're like deeply healing, extremely cathartic, and it's like they open up the path for you to truly move forward. For your love and relations, if you are single, this is a horny, sexy week for you, right? The Judgment card with the Knight of Wands, though, this could be that you end up in bed with somebody that you've dated before, and maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's just a hell of a lot of fun, right? So either which way, I think this week, if you're single and ready to mingle, this is a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment, a lot of pleasure. I think it's a real laugh a minute, and I think it's a very sexy, very horny kind of time where you are just enjoying yourself, right? I gotta be honest, because of the changes that are happening, I feel like this is more of like a celebratory connection, I'll put it that way. Whereas for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this could be some form of travel that you and your partner do that really reignites the spark and gets you back in the saddle, or back in the sack, as they say. And this could be a lot of fun. And also, like literally this connection, like sexual healing, baby. Okay, like literally this could be like that kind of connection that really, it reignites the spark of the relationship. And it also, I'm just gonna say it as it is. I mean, it's you guys, I can say anything to my Aries crew. Basically this could be like, like the that you need. All right, let me put it that way, right? Maybe it's been a while since you guys have, maybe there's been a bit of a drought or whatever, and let me tell you, it looks like the way that you're breaking that drought or breaking that fast is gonna be good. All right, for your money and materials, you have the 7 of Wands. Okay, so the money is somewhat challenged this week. And I think the reason that you're having financial challenges is because you've been a bit frivolous, to be completely honest with you, right? It looks like you're trying to do what you've always done with money, and it's not having the desired effect. Well, Einstein said, if the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? This is kind of that. It's the 7 of Wands, so there is potentially a dispute over money and resources of some sort. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is your immune system. And then on top of that, you've got the Judgment card. Now, one way that this pairing can often show up is like a chronic health situation that you have. And if that is the case, especially one that affects maybe your bones or your mobility or particularly your immune system, this week you could have a flare-up. But because you've got the 9 of Cups here, it's possible that you could have a conversation with somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I did this, or I went to see this specialist. And it's like when you go, the results that you get from it are absolutely incredible. Like, you could be really surprised at, like, maybe you say to yourself, like, wow, I wish I'd done this sooner. When it comes to your home and environment, the Seven of Wands with the World card, there's something kicking off in your locality. I don't think this is personally affecting you. It's kind of like, you know, like walking past dog poo, right? You get a really foul whiff of it, but you don't actually step in it. It's kind of like that. There's something going on, like literally outside your house, maybe in your local neighborhood or environment. It's a clash of some sort that gets really potentially quite loud. My advice to you would be just don't get involved. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Thank you for your patience. Take care, and I'll see you soon.